Hello, and welcome to another episode of Geek Lunch Meet. I'm your host Chris. As usual, it's the end of February. I hope everyone here in the UK weathered the storms we had in the past week, and anywhere else around the world. I hope you're doing well as well. Not a great deal of news this week. One of the big things was that Indiana Jones 5 has finally wrapped. We know this. James Mangold, the director, tweeted an image of the Ark of the Covenant, the lid coming back down onto the ark at the end of Raiders, indicating everything is all over, and and so begins the first day after the storm. Frank Marshall, the producer, then later on put up a photo, this photo of an Indiana Jones cap with "That's a wrap." So yeah, filming is done and dusted at long last after the many accidents and injuries and COVID delays and God knows what else has gone on that production. And now it goes into post production, and we still have 16 months to go since they put it back from its summer release date this year to the beginning of July 2023. So hopefully, maybe we'll start getting some images. It's strange with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Not long after they first started shooting, I suppose to get everyone excited, they released some official images of Harrison Ford on set in the iconic hat. We've had nothing at all on this production officially. Loads of spy stuff. It's quite strange. If you've seen any of my previous videos, check those out where I've got together all of the sort of spy pictures and footage that were taken at various sets at castles in this country. Was up in Scotland with the big astronaut parade, and then some footage from Sicily, I think it was. And yeah, just loads of spy stuff. They were quite happy just to sort of let people take photos on set, but nothing official, which is strange. Maybe we'll get something soon. As I say, check out those videos if you haven't. They're proving to be popular ones on the channel. Yeah, if you like them, give them a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up if you like to, and subscribe would be absolutely fantastic. We have another video coming up later in the week, continuing might be the last part of the Razor Crest model kit that I'm building from the Mandalorian. Yep, that'll be coming up this week. What else we had this week? Morbius, the final trailer hit for the much delayed, I think it's been delayed about 4 or 5 times. I think it's coming out end of March now. The Jared Leto Marvel slash Sony Spider-Man-ish sort of film about the living vampire. It looks okay. It's strange. For me, the Sony, is it Sony Spider-Man universe they're calling it, whatever it is. It feels very much like the direct-to-video films we had back in the 80s or in the 90s after Disney had its big renaissance and released all its big pictures, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and all that. And then they did those direct to DVD pretty crappy sequels. The Sony stuff just seems like that. It's like, oh, here's all the characters from Spider-Man, Venom, Morbius, but we haven't actually got Spider-Man. So all things like Dark Man, the direct-to-video sequels they did featuring some of the characters, but obviously didn't have Liam Neeson in them. Those type of films, not the Tremors films, because they're all bona fide classics, and I'll fight anyone who dares disagree with me on those. But yeah, the Sony Spider-Man films. I mean, Michael Keaton is in this as the Vulture, so then you think to yourself, well, obviously we've seen him as the Vulture in the MCU. So is this an actual MCU production? I don't think it is. Same with Venom. They briefly sort of tease Venom being moved into the MCU, and then at the end of Spider-Man: No Way Home, quickly sort of punted back to his own multiverse. So yeah, very sort of up in the air on the Sony Spider-Man stuff. They really need to just have their own Spider-Man film and maybe bring all these villains together. Is that going to happen whilst he's still loaded out to the MCU? I don't know. But yeah, Morbius, if that's your bag, it's coming out end of March, at long last. Some box office news. Uncharted. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. It got middling reviews. Seems to be an undemanding adventure movie. I like adventure movies. I'll get around to watching it eventually. $226 million dollars at the worldwide box office so far. So suspect a sequel to come on that one. I imagine it's done. Done better than I think a lot of people thought was going to happen with that one. Spider-Man: No Way Home is currently up to $1.8 billion in the worldwide box office. Absolutely raking the coin in. I think that puts it at 6 on the worldwide chart. I don't know. It's not going to catch. I think was it Avatar's at number 1 on 2.8 billion. Titanic's up there. Endgame's up there. Star Wars: Force Awakens as well. It might catch. It might catch one of those. But I mean, 1.8 billion, not to be sniffed at. In the US chart, it is currently lying third, 779 million. The only thing that's higher than that, Endgame on 858 million, and Star Wars: Force Awakens 936 million, which is an incredible figure when you consider how big Avengers Endgame was. Yes, and it's such that opening weekend, over 300 million in its opening weekend, is never heard of before, and it still ended up 80 million behind The Force Awakens, which just goes to show what a juggernaut that first Star Wars sequel was. Next week we've got the end of this week we've got the Batman coming in, Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is going to blow up the box office, no doubt. Be interested to see how big that does. Batman always does really well. The trailers are good. The reviews are coming in. The advanced reviews would look really good. A lot of people saying it's one of the best superhero movies of all time. So definitely I will check that out when it's released at the end of the week. I'll let you know my thoughts on that, obviously. That's about it news wise. What have I watched? All of Us Are Dead I've been watching this week. The new Korean zombie series on Netflix, and the Koreans have done it again. Squid Game, Sweet Home, what else have we had from them? Hellbound, Kingdom. Such good stuff coming out of Korea at the moment. And yeah, All of Us Are Dead, 12-part zombie epic. It sort of starts off, you think we've seen all this before. It's a high school, there's a zombie outbreak. I wasn't sure. I mean, the episode's an hour long, and I thought 12 hours, is this really going to sustain the story? But I've only got 2 episodes to go, and I'm absolutely loving it. The story starts to expand outside of the high school and takes in some of the city, which is good. There are some very interesting ideas with the I won't give too much away, but the sort of nature of where the virus has come from, and some interesting stuff it's doing with people that get bitten who may or may not turn to zombies completely, still retaining some of their sort of human traits. Is very good. It's a very much a film for now, post-pandemic. They mentioned COVID. You've got people being asymptomatic, quarantining, people being suspicious of people, trying, not wanting to catch the virus, and a lot of social media stuff at the beginning. Social media, lots of stuff being done on phones and tablets and things like that. So very much a sort of modern take on the zombie genre, and does it really well. I mean, that's All of Us Are Dead. All 12 episodes available on Netflix to watch, and I would thoroughly recommend it. That's about it from me this week. I will be back next week. So hopefully I'll have the next part of the Razor Crest model build up this week. So until next time, take care, eat geek, and be merry.